Oh, hello, and welcome back to Formula One 2020. Career mode part number 5 here for the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort, a track I have never driven at. This should be fun. Just filling up our free days right now with stuff we can do that will help out the team. And yeah, I do believe as well we can also now get our third sponsor, which is also pretty good, if you ask me. R&D looking pretty good, decent, I mean, and yeah, we can get a new sponsor. And now I'm just going to go through them. We'll see what I get here. I'm going through weekly income to get the most money weekly possible. And in the end, I believe we go with, I shouldn't spoil it, should I? Well, you'll see in a minute. Anyways, just looking through all these sponsors now, seeing which one is the best. In the end, though, however, we are going to end up going with the very, not the very bottom one, but the one at the bottom right here, Quest. And that's the one we're going to settle with. No DNFs for the race. So it's pretty easy. Pretty much just to have to ensure that Mick Schumacher doesn't, or Giuliano Alesi doesn't retire. I don't know why I thought Mick was my I don't know why I thought Mick was my teammate there, but there are the standings. I don't even know where we are in the points, but yeah, let's now advance. And coming up is a press interview with Will Buxton, and yeah, we'll go to that. You guys can watch that. Here we go.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. You've been struggling to get points this season. What are the key areas of improvement you need to make to the team? Let's talk about your new second driver. How are they settling in? Your second driver seems to be getting much more comfortable with their car. Have you been focusing on their development? Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? Would it be safe to say that, in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team? Well, thanks so much, as ever, for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
And there was the interview. All right, now we could advance the rest of the week to the Dutch Grand Prix this weekend. I believe for the first week of May. It is May 2nd, I want to say. This is the race. But yeah, so let's head down into practice. Oh, this was a very tough practice. And there was actually supposed to be rain at the end of the race by the looks of it. I don't believe it actually ever came. We'll see. I forgot this race, however, so very well could have started. But yeah. Let's head right to opening practice now. Just running laps. Hear the beautiful sound of the Renault engine for a few minutes. Alright, so that was just so I didn't have to talk. And yeah, so now we're gonna head on to qualifying next to begin this Dutch Grand Prix weekend. We'll rather continue it. There were 3 practices before quali, but here we go. It's looking like it's about to rain sometimes too, and I believe it was supposed to. But yeah, this is our first run of the day. And I'll tell you right now, I am terrible at Zandvoort. Probably one of my worst tracks. Kind of like Hanoi, but I don't feel like I'm as good here as I am at Hanoi. Just a bit worse. But yeah, we're last right now. We're still last after our second lap, so we came back out for a third lap. Qualifying is just ending. Move up to P19 on the grid. So, yeah, not the worst. Still not the best, but I'll accept it at a track I've never driven
ready
at.
for tomorrow's
Alright,
race, but before
let's
we
head
begin,
down to the
let's
track
have a
because
quick look
it is race day.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to try and overtake. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Here we are on the grid then, in our Firelinks Motorsport Renault-powered F1 car. Just looking at the strategy and stuff. Now let's head to the grid. And the 5 red lights. And here we go for the Dutch Grand Prix, my first ever race at Zandvoort, and it's lights out and away we go. it's a decent start. We going behind Hamilton. I think Lewis might have had grid penalties or something. It's odd of him to do something this far back. And he hit Grosjean. He hit Romain Grosjean. Must have pushed him wide or something. Yeah, we get on by Daniel Kvyat there. And next up is six-time world champion in a Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton. What if we beat him here today? That would be absolutely amazing. We go for a big dive on him and the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. Looks like on the outside, no. We're not going to be able to get Antonio there. We're falling behind him at the end of his first lap. And we'll see if we can get him. Overtake button enabled. On the front stretch, he pinches us down the racetrack. How aggressive this AI is. And we get on by him. Now, through the gears once again. Trying to be easy. Because the gearbox is almost dead. We really worn it out in Australia and Bahrain, races 1 and 2. We back down the front stretch on lap 2. Completing lap 2, DRS now enabled as we begin the third lap of this race. And yeah, let's just continue on. Run laps, try to hunt down Kimi Räikkönen and Esteban Ocon in front of him. Don't know who's in front of him. Looks like a racing point car, maybe. Can't really tell from here. But yes, trying to get Kimi here. We head through one of my more least favorite corners on the course. Through the final 2 corners on the circuit. Getting back onto the pit straight, and we're too far away from Kimi, but Antonio trying to strike back in the other Alfa Romeo. I've learned that you don't want to be stuck behind these Alfa Romeos because they're slow in the corners, fast in the straights. So, yeah. Heard that. Haven't really experienced it, but I don't really want to. And right now, Kimi is caught. Esteban Ocon, you can see the wear on the gearbox. I think it's like 60 or 70 something. Couldn't really see there. It was too quick. Lap 5 of 18. And yeah, I feel like the grip at this point was really starting to go away. Yeah, just working laps here around Zandvoort. Yeah, another thing, the tires. The carcass was overheating. These tires were overheating, especially the softs. I think I also had problems with it for the mediums as well, which is weird. Normally the harder compounded tires don't have that problem. But this wasn't a problem that I ran into last year. Either I messed up on the setup or it's just the tires around here are bad. I don't believe I had this issue in any of the previous races so far this season, so this is new, I'm pretty sure. These soft tires just overheating. Lewis Hamilton completes the pass. That's for P14. And it looks like our chances of beating a 6-time world champion in our own car is not gonna come alive here today. Looks like they're almost zero now. He's pulled away by 1.8 seconds, and I believe the same lap, so we're gonna come into pit. Get these soft tires off. Let's just hope we can make things better here. coming through turn 1 now. And next time by, we'll be halfway in this race. We overtake Raikkonen, not sure. I'm pretty sure we were ahead of him at the time of the pit, but Lewis is right in front of us now. So we're right about where we were. I believe he had like a 1.8, 1.9 second pit stop, and anything under 2 seconds in F1 is good. It's crazy how there even is such thing as a 2-second pit stop. These guys are experts. Yeah, we overtake Antonio Giovinazzi as well. And we are behind Esteban Ocon. Not sure if we overtook him or not. But yeah, he pulled away by a good second and a half already. Hamilton's a few seconds up the road as well. Not sure how far. 3.94 seconds up the road for Hamilton, so we really fall back from those two. Closing in on Esteban a little bit. Get the gap under a second for a bit, but then we slide out of, I believe that's turn 3, and Daniel Kvyat moves back and overtakes us with 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix. We'll be able to get back the AlphaTauri and gain that spot back up in the P14. We were running P15 before the stop, so there it was not a bad stop. We actually gained the spot. It was just a mistake on track that lost us P14. Gonna have DRS. Not sure if we're going to be able to get back the spot at all in this race. We're a bit far back. I was a bit late on the brakes there, as you could probably see. And yeah, as you saw there for a split second, the inside of the tire, the carcass, was yellow on the left front. If you go back, you can see what I mean if you missed it. But yeah, these tires are overheating. They also removed the shut up Jeff button, so I had to use engineer be quiet, which is not as fun as using the shut up Jeff button. It's oddly satisfying when you tell Jeff to shut up and be quiet, because I hate him. But yeah, approaching the end of this race, we're still in range of Daniel Kvyat, but then we go wide, and Antonio Giovinazzi is going to get on by. He kind of blocked off Kimi Räikkönen there, but we were sideways, so I'm not going to complain. We kept P16, and Antonio's not gone yet, so we still have a shot to get him back. It's still coming 6 to go in this race. This one felt like a long Grand Prix. On the front stretch, we're going to run. We're going to go to the outside of the Alfa Romeo. And he's still there. We're clear. We got the spot. How about that? Now just completing the laps until this race is wrapped up. It's looking like P15 is almost in the bag. Antonio Giovinazzi is still in DRS range, but yeah, Daniel Kvyat's too far ahead. Esteban Ocon's 4 seconds up the road and gone. So yeah, I think we're just going to have to settle for P15 max. Daniel's now pulling ahead, and the Russian in the AlphaTauri is just too fast for us here. And Antonio Giovinazzi will not quit in the Alfa Romeo. We are faster than him. We're later on the brakes as well. It's just he has DRS, and he keeps closing in on us. And, jeez, he went wide there. He got to the outside. He also went wide in turn 3, I believe that is. And he got pushed wide. Had to back out of that. And with just 3 to go in this race, it's looking promising. To the braking zone. I hated that corner in practice. I couldn't get it. It was like Hanoi, where you had to like cut that one corner as much as you can to get set up for the next, or else you're just going to miss it completely. And yeah, coming around to get 2 to go in this race. We're 1.4 seconds in front of Antonio Giovinazzi. It's looking good here. Complete this race in just less than 2 laps time. Coming around this time to get the white flag in this race. Here we are now. Now we hit the white flag. So 1 more lap to go through turn 1. And P15, it's looking like Antonio's still 1.3 seconds back. 1.2, 1.1. Still, that gap's remaining around a second. It's looking like we're good. And you're going to see in a second the hometown hero, Max Verstappen, as you see right up there, wins the race for Red Bull. And yeah, I mean, his first home Grand Prix, so it's pretty cool for him. And yeah, we're also having a good day compared to our qualifying and practice performance. This is real good, P15. Not our best finish. Not as good as last time out in China. The points finish, I think we finished P10 there. But still better this race compared to in practice and qualifying, which is very good. We really upped our pace. And it's going to be P15, my first ever time racing at Zandvoort. Oh, that was tough. Ignore those text message stuffs. They're not really important at the moment. Well, they won't ever be important for like anybody but me.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. More points for Valtteri
No,
Bottas,
I'm not calling
further
Lord
solidifying him
Mahavir.
at the top of the table.
I don't even
let's
know how you
focus
say
on the
the
driver
name,
of the day.
but
Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to
Obviously.
Joker. There was a lot
I don't
going
know.
on
Why
all
am I
down the
talking
field,
about
but they were the only one who I really felt
Dutch Grand
maximised their
Prix.
potential.
Max
It's time to
Verstappen,
check
Valtteri
out the
Bottas,
constructor
Sebastian
standings.
Vettel,
The
the
lead
top
at the
3.
comes down after a
I do believe we dropped the points, but yeah, here's highlights as always to end the video. Thank you all for watching. God, I love making the series. I love actually doing the series rather than editing it, but you know, you're not always going to like everything in the process of making YouTube videos, but thank you for watching. And we'll see you all next time. Here, listen to the highlight music.